next topic, and it is about Star Wars, and it is about Anakin Skywalker, and it is about Ahsoka, the new show coming out.
How much writing I managed to fit in that topic, man. If you think that's good, wait to see the last one.
But yeah, this is coming in from Screen Rant, John. It's Anakin Skywalker's Star Wars return is key to the Mandalorian movie, not just Ahsoka. Now, Anakin Skywalker's return in the Ahsoka show on Disney Plus seems inevitable. Really? Okay, we'll have to see. Won't we? We'll just have to wait and see.
But his appearance.
But I mean, his appearance on obviously the Obi-Wan series was fantastic, John.
It was.
Loved the flashbacks. I'm so glad they didn't do the de-aging thing. They didn't. I don't think they had to do it for that. It wasn't important. It was just to see the characters' emotions. We're going back to emotions again.
Yeah.
If they had masked those guys' faces up with de-aging, you would have lost all that.
Exactly.
Because these two guys have got a connection.
And he doesn't
I'm talking about Hayden and obviously Ewan. He doesn't.
People
John.
on about his age. The man was 20 fucking 2 when he did.
And he's 40. Yeah.
His Anakin in the prequel movies.
Yeah, he's 40 now, isn't
40 years of age now. What do you expect to happen? Come back to me when you're 40 fuckers.
I thought he
looked
looked good.
Like.
And I thought Ewan looked good as well, but he always does.
Ewan's
but with a strong possibility of Anakin Skywalker return to Star Wars via the upcoming Ahsoka show, he's now the key to the Mandalorian movie. As Ahsoka Tano's master during the Clone Wars, Anakin's return is important for her TV series and can build off their history from the Star Wars animation. The last time they saw each other was on Malachor when Anakin was still Darth Vader, so it would be fascinating to see Ahsoka talk to his Force ghost after Return of the Jedi. The show could also include a flashback to their time during the Clone Wars and reveal new information that affects the main storyline. They do that anyway, John. Mandalorian did it. Boba Fett did it, and Andor did it as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep, they did flashbacks. They all do flashbacks.
Yeah.
I don't think this show is going to be any different.
No,
do they need to do flashbacks? Not at all.
Don't know,
because again, you've got the animated stuff that you can back yourself up with.
But they do hint at it in this article at the top that it'd be a nice way for fresh viewers coming in who are not aware of the history between Anakin and Ahsoka. It's a nice little sort of conduit into the story, the relationship, and then he can go back and look into it in greater detail. Of course, he was her master. She was his Padawan. And they had this sort of great sort of camaraderie. And they were sniping at each other. I think she used to call them, what did she used to call them again? Snips. I think she called them snips. And then obviously he turned to the dark side, and it was explored in Rebels. I'm sure there was a terminology for it. I've not visited it in a long fucking time, where she became almost, I think she had a white saber, and there's a terminology for it, where she's neither the light nor the dark. She straddles a middle line. Yeah. And she's almost became one with the Force, but she's not, her physical existence hasn't disappeared like Yoda and Qui-Gon before her. Yeah,
John, I'm just reading that last paragraph there. As engaging as these possibilities are, however, Anakin's return is just as significant for the Mandalorian movie. The Book of Boba Fett proved that the Mandalorian spin-off shows will inevitably intersect, so Anakin's return to Ahsoka would affect any following stories. His return to Ahsoka also means that he could return in the Mandalorian movie, which would have a major impact on the Star Wars cinematic timeline. It certainly will, and this puts a great deal of pressure on Ahsoka to succeed, but also opens more possibilities. John, I've got no doubt that this show is going to succeed.
Yeah,
this is the one Dave Filoni has been waiting for decades to do.
Told me like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I mean, there was a lot of talk of him potentially getting his chance to get involved with the character in live action, and a lot of people probably says at that time it's never going to happen. Yeah, but he's a great man, Dave. He's very passionate and knowledgeable about Star Wars. For me, he should have been the person who took over Lucasfilm after George Lucas, but for whatever reason, George decided to pick out Kathleen. Yeah, and he made his fucking bed. Now we're all having to lie in it. I'm absolutely adamant that things would have been different if the likes of Dave and Jon Favreau were working together in control of those movies. You wouldn't have seen the mishandling of Luke and the fucking deconstruction of some of the lore and mythology.
Free reunite as well.
Absolutely, Stephen. They understand what the fandom wants because they are fans. They grew up watching the movies. They get it.
Don't get me wrong, John. I do get that, you know, after 30 years, 3 people may not spend a lot of time with each other after 3 decades. I get that. But there's just something about missed opportunities, especially with aging actors. They're not going to be around. Well, it was proven. Carrie Fisher's sadly no longer with us. We cannot go back there and do it now.
We've got a likeness though.
Yeah, Harrison Ford will know how to do Star Wars again. He's done with, obviously,
he's definitely done
Indiana
with
Jones.
Indiana Jones now as well.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought his time in Star Wars would have came to a better end in Indiana? Not me, I tell you that right now. Steve, do you want to read that comment? Is Azure Season 2 available on Patreon? Like, I've technically read it. Is it available on Patreon?
It was only available through our links through YouTube, which means they're not available on there yet.
I'm thinking about
we've got to be very careful what we're doing in case anybody's watching. So we're thinking about it. We've got them in the can, but we've had to remove them, obviously. So they can't go on this platform. They cannot go on this platform whatsoever in any shape or form, because it'll just get us into bother again. I think, John, your theory's right about some people not liking what we were saying. So
because we got an interesting email, shall we say, and it kind of
confirmed it.
It confirms that somebody's been snitching. Snitchy's gone snitch, and they've been going to the copyright holders and telling on us. So
just because they didn't like.
I think they didn't. They took umbrage to reviews on the end of season 1, and they went off in a fucking huff and decided to also try and get the channel shut down, I'd imagine, which is pathetic, really, because love or hate something, it has to be natural. You have to give your honest and humble opinion on something. And look, one thing you're going to get from me and Stephen, time and time again, is honesty. We're not sycophants.
You saw that in our reaction.
Yeah, we're not fucking sycophants, Stephen. Like some channels out there may or may not be. And we're not going to play up to an audience because we're terrified. We're going to give an opinion on something. And if we don't like elements, we'll fucking say it. And that's just the way it's going to be forever.
I just find it a coincidence that I think it's probably our most... Yeah, but in terms of reaction, John, it's probably our most negative reaction that we've done in any series.
Yeah.
Just for that moment, that decision.
Still rated at a 7.8 out of 10.
That's the one that gets pulled. That's the one that gets us into trouble. It's too much of a coincidence, But just getting back to Star Wars, John. Obviously, I can't wait. Rosario Dawson. It's just like the stars are aligning, isn't it, for Filoni and Rosario to do this project, John? It's been over a decade in the making, and we're finally getting there. I can't wait to see this show. This is the one I was looking forward to. I think I was looking forward to this more than Andor at one point. I don't know why.
It all got announced, didn't it? And then also it's been confirmed recently that Donald Glover is now penning the script for his
Lando,
his Calrissian sort of TV show with another individual. I'm looking forward to that because Donald's a remarkable fucking man.
The character's fantastic as well, John.
Just overall, singing, stand-up comedian, actor, performer, writer. He obviously worked closely on Atlanta, I think it was, with the writing team, and obviously is one of the main characters. So we're looking forward to that too. But Stephen, I'm looking forward to this show. Rosario's a great actor, always has been. Liked her since Death Proof. She was in Death Proof, I'm pretty sure she was. Alongside
kicked ass.
Ewan McGregor's current flame, I'm pretty sure. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So really enjoyed the actor, and we always were sort of championing her to be Ahsoka when there was talk of a potential live action, as a lot of the fandom did. And you just look at the trailer, and they look as though they're balancing the tie-ins with the animated stuff beautifully. It's like a culmination of all those years of storytelling, really rich, brilliant Star Wars stories getting told. Some fucking shite in there as well. Let's not beat about the bush. Space whales and nonsense like that. Although I did like the way they tied that into Andor. We've seen a space whale. And I think it was Andor. No, it wasn't. It was Mandalorian season 3.
I mind Grogu looking at it.
Because I'm like, that's a fucking space whale. Right away.
Space whale.
Yeah, it was dreadful.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, dreadful. But in the main, it was very, very good. And it did do a brilliant job of sort of expanding a timeline which was condensed horribly in 3 movies, which realistically, it was almost a sideshow with. The 3 movies were about the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, and how that knocked into obviously the original trilogy. The Clone Wars element was just tacked on. And it was really just a 1.5 movie experience. Fuck, we were so excited to see Kashyyyk and the Revenge of the Sith. And I think it was Revenge of the Sith, wasn't it? You went to the toilet, Steve, and fucking missed it. I seen it, but it was over in the blink of an eye.
John, it was always my issue with the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy connecting. It was, I don't know. I tried. I think it was the early 2000s when they were all released on DVD, and tried to watch them all like a marathon back to back, and it's just so jarring, you know. And I don't just mean about the visuals, because that was obviously going to be one of the glaring obvious things, was the visuals. The technology was more advanced in the past than it is in the present, but they kind of sorted all that kind of thing out, and I think these shows sort those little issues out, those plot holes, you know.
Just expand it out, Steve, and make it a richer story about the wars and all the sort of characters in it, the clone troopers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just the relationship that Anakin had with Obi-Wan and with also Ahsoka and all the other individual Jedi. It just makes it a more richer experience. That's what Dave gave us with those stories, and obviously it went into Rebels, and it continued to get better and better and better. And now this is almost like the culmination. This Ahsoka live action bleeding into a Thrawn coming back again live action, and it's almost culminating. I love the little separate universe they've created in this little pocket between the original trilogy and the sequel
it's
trilogy.
All within the Skywalker saga, though, isn't it?
It's all within that saga. It's almost a pocket universe that's connecting.
I always thought, John, after obviously Return of the Jedi, you know, they would have to work their way back the way with the prequels. They couldn't carry themselves forward in any way, because you're not going to top Vader, you're not going to top Emperor Palpatine, and they didn't. That's the thing, they didn't. Snoke never did it. No. And I think doing, as you said, it's like a sort of stick-on sort of timeline, in the same timeline as the original trilogy, or just after the original trilogy, where you're going to get a super duper villain, let's be honest.
Yeah, yes.
You know, in this Mandalorian movie. And it's all leading up to that. It's going to be fantastic. And seeing a Star Wars film again in the cinema is going to be great, because it's been a long time.
Stephen, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yeah.
Disney, to be fair to them, I love to kick the boot into them as much as the next Star Wars fan for the handling of a sequel trilogy. But realistically, where do you go with Star Wars? Do you go 800 years in the past and then you know what's coming in the future?
Yeah,
and there's no real jeopardy. But there is, because it's separate characters in a different timeline. Or do you go in the future and risk the characters not being compelling?
They're kind of just circling around the existing storylines and just keep doing that till it gets further out, further out. That's what you do.
That's what you do, Steve. It's clear that there's still more of an interest in the Galactic Civil War and post and pre-era.
Yeah.
And that's where the interest is. So that's where you've still got to do the abundance of storytelling.
You touched on it as well, John, in terms of these web series as well. The aesthetics, I think they've nailed every time.
Yeah,
I think the worlds that they've gone to, especially in Andor, I thought just fantastic. Incredible. Where it was like 3 different stories you had. You had 3 episodes, then another 3, and then another. It was 9 episodes, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And it was like 3 trilogies.
Was it more than that? I don't know.
It might have been, John. It probably was, but it just felt like different stories, you know, different timelines,
was,
you know. And
in a way, explored the different sides of rebellion. You've got these sort of autocracy, is that right? The upper echelons anyway, with Mon Mothma and all of the sort of imperial spies and stuff. The guy, fucking famous British actor, he played the driver, didn't he? He was a spy.
Yeah.
Then also you had the Andor boots on the ground side. Then you had the sort of middleman with Luthen.
Yeah.
Or Luthen. I'm just glad I remember his name now. I could never remember it watching the actual show.
Yeah.
Just really, that was excellent. For me, that's the best storytelling Star Wars has ever produced, period.
Yeah, really
and I'm including the original trilogy in that. Just top tier, brilliant storytelling. And that's what I want to see them doing moving forward. Exploring different demographics. But they are, Stephen, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, really. I think they should just continue with what they're doing just now and just gradually sort of navigate away from it.
Just before we move on, John, we'll talk about Hayden Christensen as well.
Yeah,
how are you feeling about this guy now? I mean, I didn't have an issue with him the first time round. I thought he did a good job considering what he had to work with. But this is his time now, isn't it? In Star Wars, he's really on board. That reception he got last year at Celebration, I think it was. Yeah. Was it this year? It was prior to the Obi-Wan series. When was that? It was this year.
It was this year.
This year? Oh, it's been a long year.
Not long enough.
Just the love the fans have got for this guy, you know, and his legacy as Anakin Skywalker, because it was big shoes to fill, let's be honest, you know. Anakin Skywalker was a legend before he was even on screen, just in references, and obviously anyone stepping into that role was going to get judged, weren't they? I never thought it was a miscast in any way. from George.
What they handled wrongly was the introduction of Anakin in the story.
Hayden should have been in
It should
episode
have been
one.
episode one, yeah. The decision to make him a young kid. And just thought, I mean, I loved the pod racing stuff when I was a little guy watching it. I was I'd have been 10, 9,
And
10 when it came out.
No, that's not a dig at Jake Lloyd in any way.
No,
I thought he did a good job.
He was
in that
okay,
episode,
yeah.
But
I enjoyed the Phantom Menace, and it's strange, it's probably still my second favourite out of the 3 movies.
Yeah.
But Hayden realistically should have come in the first movie. Then you give them 3 movies to do something. The way they develop the character.
They did look,
You're trying to rush one of the most important fucking arcs in all of Star Wars and cinematic history, in a sense, because Star Wars is...
I kind of guess, and I understand where George was coming from in terms of showing the innocence of the character at a young age. I get that, and how he went from that to what he became. I get that.
You've seen that in the poster,
but I think, the way the Luke Skywalker story looks so different in each film. His development is one of the best developments I've ever seen in any arc. From what you see in A New Hope right through to Return of the Jedi, just the growth in the character. I think Hayden could have done
natural
that.
growth as well.
Yeah, I think he could have done that.
He could have, Stephen. Stephen, I think he's a great actor. I think he was done dirty. You can only really work with the script you've got, and if there's not enough time to...
A head sand.
Exactly. He still had some epic fucking moments. He did, let's be honest. The chase sequence, and not chase sequence, but the little speeder sequence in Coruscant, I laughed my head off at that at the time. I loved it. The fact he kept losing his lightsaber, it just showed you the sort of immaturity of the character, where he was at, and the dangers, the pitfalls that lay ahead for him. But obviously, the moment where he wipes out the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People, fucking epic. I love that line. They're animals, so I killed them like animals. And
There's
not
only
just
one
the men.
scene that I think that tops that for you, John, involving Anakin. And
It's the Trade Federation. The fuckers getting them.
We only wanted peace. No, you didn't.
Exactly. You've created war, you bastards. I know you were a proxy for Palpatine, but Sheath knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and you wanted war.
You did want war. You were lusting on the war.
Kill them or something. I always remember that at the arena and Attack of the Clones. You were all wanting them dead.
He started slashing them down. But
it was the closing the doors and the blinds.
Yeah, fucking love it. And Stephen, also the shot of him walking up with the clone troopers into the Jedi temple.
Yeah,
fucking
I love
epic.
that music from John Williams. Well,
So he's an iconic character, no matter what. And he had his moments. He had some great moments. Riding that sort of space fucking donkey thing, bulbous space donkey thing, wasn't one of the moments.
Big arse. Yeah. Looked like a pear.
It did. Also, Stephen, the relationship between him and Obi-Wan was probably the best one.
It was better than him and Padme.
Absolutely, it was. No chemistry whatsoever. No. But the fight sequence at the end, was it over choreographed? Absolutely it was. But was it still great?
Yeah.
Absolutely it was.
Watching that on the big screen, John, was fucking epic. It was really good.
It was very, very good.
For its time,
and obviously, the deconstruction of this brotherhood. You were like a brother to me, Anakin.
John, that scene's fantastic. It's still a good scene, though. It's fantastic. I hate you. It's the rage in them, just that hatred. But that's all down to Hayden's
and you've seen the acting that he was capable of in that moment when he was in the temple and he was torn between going down or staying there and listening to, obviously, Mace Windu. You've seen the guy didn't even have to utter a word, and you've seen the performance he gave, so he showed inklings
the conflict
of what he was capable of. And I'm glad to see, long story fucking short, that he is getting a chance to come back to Star Wars and semi-redeem it. I'd love to see him in Ahsoka. If it's as
Anakin.
As Anakin, absolutely.
Not as Vader.
I mean, he's not Vader at that point. He's ceased to be.
We don't have to see him
redeemed.
as Vader again, to be honest with you. I think we got enough.
But
that's enough, isn't it? Just that final sort of parting shot from Obi-Wan, goodbye, Darth.
I don't need your pity, Obi-Wan. I just fucking loved it. The modulation of the voice. And then him saying, then my friend is truly dead.
Yeah.
So long, Darth. Great.
Yeah, it was a fantastic scene. One
brilliant.
of the best scenes I've seen in Star Wars in web series or film.
Just the imagery.
But that goes back to what we're talking about, John. It's filling those little blanks and connecting those little stories into between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. It's just fantastic.
See, when you think about it, Stephen, this is the last thing I'm going to say in this. You really see Anakin in the Vader suit. Realistically, you see him 3 times his face in the suit. The first time's when he's getting put in the suit and he's full of sorrow and grief for Padme and loss, but he's also got that burning hatred. The second time you see him is in Obi-Wan and he's further down in his journey, but it's just sheer hatred now. He's just fucking hating Obi-Wan. The final time you see him,
kill Anakin Skywalker.
I did.
So that was total darkness. Yeah,
it's just darkness. The final time is when he's lying down and Luke's looking on him.
Fantastic.
And the transition.
Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah.
Character Kevin Bacon. Amazing performance.
Think of that transition. That's fucking epic. It really is.
Tell your sister.
You were right.
It was a right emotional moment. It was fantastic.
I need to go back and watch the original trilogy.
For once, I would just like to look at you with my own eyes. It's a sad story, John, but he did kill a lot of people.
He did.
Let's not forget that.
But he was manipulated, though, wasn't he, from a very young age? I mean, it's now in the mythology that Sheaf actually manipulated the midi-chlorians to give birth.
Yep.
To impregnate
made Snoke.
Yeah, he made fucking Anakin as well. He was his father.
Yeah, I need your help, son.
And from a young age, he was manipulating him. So he was a fucking tragic character. He really was a tragic,
used and abused.
character. And we always maintain that the best villains are the ones that have got real, sort of fully fledged backstories. And Anakin certainly get that.
Yeah,
that's for damn fucking.
We're going to move on.